Come and spend a day with me while I intellectualise why I'm addicted to exercise. So growing up I had a very weird relationship with exercise and food. Probably due to watching people like Steve Cook, who were the male's equivalent to Barbie from an aesthetic standpoint. So naturally I wanted to be jacked and shredded, but I just ended up going through a binge eating phase, as I'd be so restrictive with my calories during the week. I didn't notice it at first, as I think disordered behaviour towards eating is less spoken about in men, but I then realised this was unhealthy, so I started eating more and gaining more weight than I was used to. Instead of under-eating, I ended up overtraining, hitting 2 sessions a day most days, and this continued for about 3 years, until Alex pointed out that whenever I have a bad day or lose control of something in my life, I would essentially try to ruin myself the next day in the gym to try and feel worthy. So whilst exercise is an incredible thing, and it has been a crutch which I've relied heavily on, it has also been the source of a lot of my issues growing up. And I think I'm telling you this because I love being in the fitness space in social media and using exercise as a coping mechanism. I do not want to be an advocate of the mirage that is overtraining and undereating. If you think you may be falling into this trap unknowingly, I've been there, I'm still there. Men have disordered eating too, but sometimes we just need to see that someone is going through the same thing as us in order to start making a change.
Yes, buddy. Thank you, James. Yes, men suffer with disordered eating too. Honestly, you would be surprised by the amount of men that have reached out to me over the past 18 months because I have been so open about my previous struggles with binge eating. I suffered for 6 years. Not so much in silence. I did reach out to multiple therapists at the time, but with no success. They just seemed more interested in talking about my childhood and my divorce and how these things could have contributed to my eating disorder. Fast forward 8 years, fully recovered and setting up the 3D project with my business partner Emily, where we specialize in healing binge eating and disordered eating in athletes and people in the health and fitness industry. I know now that yes, certain life events in the past may make you more susceptible to developing eating disorders, but when it comes to binge eating specifically, under eating and overtraining gets you stuck in the cycle of binge eating and self-sabotage. But poor body image or an over-evaluation of weight and shape is what keeps you stuck. Speaking as a previous sufferer, I used to get so frustrated with myself, as I was supposed to be the pinnacle of health. How can I struggle with binging on high-calorie, sugary foods when I'm supposed to be a role model for everyone around me? Then comes the guilt, the imposter syndrome, and this only exacerbates the cycle of restricting and binging. If you struggle with binge eating, you are certainly not alone. Thanks to people like James here, more and more are speaking out about it, and thank God. We've had incredibly positive responses from our 90-day course over the past few months, and we have already almost completely pre-sold our first intake of 2025. So if you are keen to finally banish binge eating for good, click the link in my bio to join the waiting list, as we will most likely be running another course in the first part of 2025. Once again, thank you so much, James, for sharing your story. But for now, from me, you are more than welcome.